I just want to say I'm not doing this to make anyone feel bad or single anyone out. I just needed to make myself known about this. Trying to get two sides of the coin is best, and I don't see anybody talking about the benefits of that Temu has. My first point is knockoffs or dupes. Usually people who buy dupes don't tend to have the money to pay for the real thing. In my opinion, that is a it's a small-minded way to think. Because yes, we should support the original creators, but when that's at a price that we can't pay, regardless of if we're getting it off of like if we get a knockoff or not, we're not going to pay the full price if we don't have the money for it. Period. We also know that most of these dupes from Temu don't last long. They're generally crappier quality. We understand that going into these purchases, but we do it because it's in our price range. We barely have enough money to survive and use our necessities as it is. In my opinion, I I haven't done any scientific research or gone out and asked a bunch of people if the reason that they use Temu is because of the fact they can't afford the real stuff. I can guarantee you, all the people that I've spoken to, that that is definitely the case. Now, the whole thing with Temu's buying format being kind of scammy and, tricking you into buying these things, yes, it is a definite business tactic that a lot of businesses use. Temu seems to be using a lot of that tactic, but at the same time, generally are the best prices um, compared to anywhere else on the internet because of the fact that they do not charge for shipping. Um, yes, obviously Amazon doesn't charge for shipping, but their stuff tends to be a little bit more on the pricey side. Not that pricey, but just in general, Amazon tends to be more pricey than Temu. Most of us do know that the people behind Temu, the manufacturers that make the stuff from Temu, aren't getting, you know, the best business practice themselves from Temu. But at the same time, there are half of what I have from Temu are everyday essentials. Clothes is a big one. Um, Especially being bigger, I can't find any clothes that are really that affordable except for, Walmart, maybe Five Below sometimes. Now I've heard a bunch of people saying that they either didn't get their packages or their packages were like really really late, which I've tried Wish, AliExpress, and I've tried what's the other one that I tried? It starts with a J. I don't even remember what it's called, but basically, they all three of the other ones, I always had late packages. With Temu, there has only been one time out of the multiple, I should say, just a lot of um packages. There's only been one that was late by one day, and even though it was late by only one day, they gave me a $5 credit, no questions asked. They didn't even have me ask any questions. They gave it to me automatically. Um, and anytime that, because we know that that their products tend to be on the crappier side. They anytime that there's something that is broken or wrong, or something about your order is messed up, they will generally they'll tell you to take a picture of it and explain the deal. I've had it where there was an eyeliner that I got that was the wrong color. They didn't have me return it, but they were refunded me. There was a pair of boots that ripped within, like, it was during the first time I wore them. Um, they refunded me, didn't ask for them back. Um, and then my daughter, she had a pair of ripped pants that came with her thing. They, again, with the picture, they didn't need them back, but they gave me a refund anyways. So their refund policies are pretty easy to get through. Now, the whole thing with the selling data on Pinduoduo, this is all on the app. I've never had any problems, but if you are worried about something like that and you are still interested in Temu, you can always use the website. The website does basically the same things. I think there are a few things you can't do because they prefer you on the app, but there is, I mean, that's your way of avoiding that problem. Again, payment, you should always do some sort of, like, either Google Pay or PayPal, third party people to kind of intercept the exact payment information to help protect yourself financially. Another thing, though, I've heard the Timo's not the only person I've heard of that that has had a data breach issue, or at least has had a past of a data breach issue. Like, I remember a few years ago there was a big data breach with people um through Target. I mean, with how big that company is, you wouldn't think that there would be any cybersecurity issues or um data information selling problems, hacking and all that sort of stuff. You wouldn't think that. But every time that there's anything linked to you specifically, financially, basically using your cards, um, you have the ability to get your information taken. I mean, that's just what we have to live with. It sucks, but it is definitely something that I have honestly been thinking about for a while. Now, with all this said, a lot of people tend to go towards Team not just because of how much everything costs. Because, as I said, most of us know that they're just ripping off other people's art and they're coming out with dupes and whatever. But if middle America wasn't so poor, if the gap between those who are underpaid and those are who are excessively rich, if we close that gap even a little bit, we wouldn't have this problem. We would get everything from the original makers. We wouldn't have to go to Walmart or Five Below or Dollar Tree. A lot of those business practices tends to go on with a lot of those big businesses anyways. I mean, there's just so much more nuance than anyone can really grasp to say, yes, this is bad. I'm not saying it is a godsend. What I am saying is it gives poor people the ability to express themselves how they see fit.